All right, boys. This is the second live stream of today. I wanted to do a video indoors because it's typically crazy outside, and we've not done one of these indoor talky videos for a little while. So in this one, I wanted to walk you through my personal process, how I've gone from a cripplingly insecure porn addict who had erectile dysfunction, who struggled socially for many years of my life, was unable to attract the women that I wanted to attract, how I've gone from that sexless, insecure virgin to doing what I'm doing now, which is traveling the world, teaching high achievers how to build and live top 1% dating lives, how to approach women in person, how to get the women that they want rather than settling for the ones they think they can get, and ultimately live a life free from bullshit. I think that at the core of everything that I teach, and at the core of everything that I do, and at the core of everything that I expostulate to you is this freedom from bullshit mentality. I think that when it comes to learning and mastering intersexual dynamics, when it comes to getting everything that I've ever wanted in life, I realize that it really is me versus me. Like, it's all in my head. Perception is reality, and internal state equals external reality. So when I was 13 years old, I made the decision to become a magician. I used to have severe social anxiety growing up. I used to break out into these sweating fits at school whenever I got put on the spot to answer questions. And then when people meet me today, they just assume that I skipped out of the womb being hashtag confident. But if you're someone who wants to develop top 1% social skills, if you've watched my videos and you're thinking to yourself, do you know what? I would actually like to do that. I would like to just be able to approach women who I find attractive. I would like to be able to go after what I want rather than settling for what I think I can get. And I would like to live life on my terms rather than dancing to the music of the masses or being constrained by the shackles of society. But at the moment, I'm scared. I feel this resistance towards doing the things that I want to do. Maybe you've got a fear of judgment, fear of public humiliation, fear of embarrassment, and all of these self-limiting beliefs are castrating you of your confidence. And I completely understand it. Like, I've been in that position where I hated myself, I hated my life, I hated the person that I'd become. Like 4 years ago, I was living in a grotty apartment in central Leeds. It was infested with cockroaches. I had £24.82 of universal credit in my bank account. I'd just come out of a long-term relationship and I had no idea how to attract women. And all of this cold approach stuff, it was all very new to me. But the one thing that I did have in my locker was experience of approaching people to perform magic, right? So I transferred my skills of cold approaching people for magic over to approaching girls in public. Now, I want to share one principle which really helped me on my journey, especially overcoming that initial resistance. Like, you probably feel that right now. Like, you might see a girl that you like walking past you on the street, but then this feeling washes over you. It's like you feel as though you become paralyzed by fear. You start to think too many steps ahead. You experience failure in advance and you reject yourself on the girl's behalf. So the thing that has really helped me, and is one of the main things that helps my clients when we start working together, is removing all expectation to start off with and just going over to that person and saying something, right? Oftentimes, the hardest part is just getting your legs to walk over to that person and letting words leave your mouth, right? As soon as you've said something, then all of those self-limiting beliefs, they start to dissipate. It was Alfred Hitchcock who said, "There's no terror in the bang, only in the anticipation of it." And what I found to be true after learning this skill set and then helping other guys learn it so they can live top 1% dating lives is very much the anticipation, which amplifies the anxiety. As soon as you take the action and do the thing, life does start to feel easier. So the best advice that I can give you, having gone from that sexless virgin who couldn't pull a muscle to living the life that I'm living now, is just focusing on those first few seconds, right? Just letting your legs do the walking and your mouth do the talking, right? So the next time that you see a woman in public, all I need you to do is force yourself to get close proximity to her. So if this is a woman, stand about here and just say something. You could just say, excuse me. You could say hi. You could say good morning or good afternoon or good evening, depending on the time of day. But all this is doing is giving you the opportunity to continue a conversation, because usually guys are they're thinking way too many steps ahead. Like, oh, how do I stop running out of things to say? How do I go for the girl's number? How do I get her out on a date? And they've not yet mastered the actual approach. It's like trying to learn how to do a wheelie on a bicycle when you can't even ride a bike yet. Like, you can't even ride a bike without the stabilizers on. So it's just focusing on the next practical step rather than getting overwhelmed and thinking too many steps ahead. If you're somebody who at the moment approaching girls who you really like, if that fills you with fear, then all I need you to do is focus on just saying something, right? Just focus on the open. You don't even need to give any compliment to start off with, right? So you could just walk outside. Let me just give you a practical blueprint, because this will be really useful, right? Let's imagine you're in the position that I used to be in, right? I'm a sexless virgin. I'm terrified of speaking with women. I've got erectile dysfunction. I hate myself. Just like the lowest of the low, right? I'm being as emotionally transparent with you here as possible, because I know how much it sucks, but no one else is coming to save you, right? I want you to take the actions that I took. So let's imagine that you're in that position. The first thing that I want you to do is get yourself outside, right? You're not going to meet anybody by ruminating in your own egoic self-absorption by sitting at home all day, right? So get yourself outside, right? Now that you're outside, just take 5 minutes to get yourself acclimatized to the area that you're in. All right. So don't focus on approaching anybody as soon as you get outside right now, because that might be a little bit too much for you. Just focus on your breathing. All right. Take a few deep breaths. Look around at the surrounding environment, like just make some observations. What can you see? Oh, there's some people. Oh, there's some shops. Oh, there's a motorbike. Like, just getting in as much as possible to the present moment, all right? Breathe. Yeah, don't forget to breathe. Just take those breaths, all right? Take those breaths. And then once you've got outside, once you've acclimatized yourself to the environment, what I want you to do is start visualizing, start visualizing what it would be like to go over to somebody and just say something. Because I believe that if we can visualize it first, it's almost as if we can experience the success in advance, okay? So you've gone outside, you've got your breathing on point, you're saying what you can see, you're noticing people as they walk past you. And then when you see an attractive girl, you don't need to approach this girl you don't need to approach her, but just imagine yourself, imagine yourself approaching her. Maybe you would have a smile on your face, and maybe you could just say something, right? You might say hi, you might say good morning, or you might say excuse me. Like, you don't need to worry about what you're going to say next, because you've most likely been having conversations your entire life. So when the moment calls for it, you'll most likely know what to say next. So you might say, excuse me, do you know where the nearest coffee shop is? And you can start off with a direction. But even if your mind just goes blank, you could just say, oh, sorry, have a good day. I thought you were somebody that I knew. It doesn't matter. Like, I need you to just give yourself full permission to suck at the start, okay? Reject your need for guarantee, fuck perfection, just show up, okay? So this is all I need you to do, right? Get outside, focus on your breathing, imagine yourself approaching somebody who you find attractive, and then just say something. Just say hello, just say excuse me, just say good morning, have a smile on your face. it's just aiming to get 1% better every day. Okay, if you can make a habit out of doing this exercise every time you leave the house, so every time you leave the house, focus on your breathing, focus on the people around you. When attractive women walk past you, just imagine yourself going over, saying something. You don't need to give direct compliments. That might be too much for you at the moment. But then what I did when I was learning how to perform magic, right? The thought of just going out there and performing magic immediately to strangers at 13 years old, that was just too much for me. So I just crescendoed it. I baby stepped my way to be able to perform magic on big stages around the world at people's weddings, like performing like magic shows at people's weddings to over 400 people. You don't just go from A to B. It's like there's steps that you need to take to get there. So I just baby stepped it. So the first time that I wanted to go out and cold approach people for magic, I just focused on getting outside. That was my first exercise. Okay, let's leave the house and let's just walk around. Okay, that was all I did for the first time. And then over time, I would start asking people for directions. Excuse me, do you know where XYZ is? Okay, so that got me used to actually approaching people and saying something. And then it took me a couple of months until I actually plucked up the courage to approach somebody and be like, "Hi, excuse me, I'm practicing to become a magician. Would I be able to show you a quick magic trick?" And I rehearsed this open so many times in my bedroom. So the words had become ingrained into muscle memory. Like, dude, there was points in my life, like during this apprenticeship period, where I would go out with the pack of cards in my pocket, and like just the idea of getting these cards out to perform magic to strangers, it's like I felt as though I had a dirty secret in my pocket. I think that's true for a lot of guys who want to start cold approaching. You're going out there and you feel like a closet heterosexual. You feel as though you've got some dirty secret that you need to hide. Like, oh no, I find women attractive. I can't declare my desire for these women. It's like you end up walking around for hours and talking to nobody. So all I need you to do is go outside, breathe, focus on what you can see, imagine yourself going over to somebody and then just saying something. And then once you start to feel comfortable in your own skin, just pull the trigger. Just go over. It doesn't even need to be an amazingly attractive girl to start off with. It could be a girl who's moderately attractive, a girl who maybe you wouldn't date, but you're just going to go over purely to practice. It takes, in my experience, about 100 cold approaches to start to find your flow in this game. So the first 100 approaches that you do, they're just batting practice. They don't count. So give yourself permission to suck with these approaches. But yeah, you can just find some girls who maybe you're not crazy attracted to, but you can go over and you can make their day anyway. Like, you could open with a compliment. You could say, "Hi, excuse me, I just wanted to say you look lovely today. Have a good day." Do that 100 times, right? If you've done that 100 times, the first time will feel really scary. After you've done it 10 times, it won't feel scary as the first time. Then once you've done it 100 times, it'll start to feel as effortless as drinking water. It's just relentless repetition with this stuff, yeah? If you've never cold approached a girl in your life before, that's why it's scary, and that's okay. Like, I could read the best book on teach myself how to swim, but until I actually get into the water and do that first length, it's all just wanking in the wind, right? So just keep things super simple for yourself. Go outside, get used to the area, imagine yourself approaching somebody, and then just find a few people. You can even start off just talking to guys to start off with. Like, if you're really terrified of talking to strangers, you could leave your house and ask one guy for direction. Like, "Yo, excuse me, mate, do you know where the best independent coffee shop is around here? Do you know where I can get a good pair of trainers from? Do you know where, whatever?" It's just getting you used to walking over to somebody who you don't know and saying something, okay? I don't want you to overcomplicate this process, okay? All this is just talking to people. The more you can get yourself into the habit of just approaching people, saying something, the more you can do that on a consistent basis, I promise you, over a long enough time horizon, it will start to feel easier. The final thing I'll say about all this stuff is actions compound. Okay, so the actions that you take today, you might not see the payoff until 1, 2 years from now. Like when I was cold approaching people around parks in the Lake District, I had no idea that my 13-year-old self was investing into the identity which I embody today. Does that make sense? Let's say you're a 21-year-old guy right now and you want to dominate the dating arena. You want to stack high quality romantic options. You want to live a life free from bullshit. You want to unlock top 1% social skills and just dominate the world. By starting now, you're investing into the identity of the person who you want to embody, right? We've got a member in my private network. He's 20 years old, right? 20 years old. He's the youngest member of my private network. And he recently had a solo, we were calling it his Spanish Renaissance mission. He recently had a solo expedition to Spain, all right? So he's solo traveling at 20 years old. And on top of that, he's cold approaching in a foreign language. So he's speaking to these Spanish chicas in Spanish, right? Like this is what I'm talking about. And we have group coaching calls every week. We've got a private WhatsApp group where we all conglomerate together and share ideas and share wins. And what I keep banging into his brain is, brother, everything that you're doing now, like you're fucking crushing it. But when you get to 23, 24, 25, like when you get to 35 years old, you are going to be one of the most dangerous players in the sexual marketplace because you started now. Yeah, this is a compounding of action that he's taking. So, dude, it doesn't matter if you're 20, 30, 40, 50. Just start now because your future self is going to thank you. There's so many guys who go out once, right? Maybe they do one approach and they're like, oh, I didn't get a result. Oh, this doesn't work. Oh, cold approach is a waste of time. And it's like, this works as long as you do. The best players in the game of life, they don't think in days, they think in decades, yeah? At 13 years old, I'm cold approaching people around parks in the Lake District. I'm an insecure, sniveling social mess. And now, 14 years later, I'm an international men's dating coach who's working with high achievers. I'm getting more girls, making more money, and living a life that my 13-year-old self, like if I could have a conversation with that version of me, I feel so proud of the person that I've become. And it hasn't happened by luck, it's happened by design, right? The people who I went to school with, like at school, I was just irrelevant. I was just invisible. Like no one even noticed me. Like I was just always sat at the back of the classroom. I hated the attention. I hated the social spotlight. I really did just hate myself for a big portion of my life. But all of those actions that I've taken throughout these 14 years, they've enabled me to become the person who I am today. So understand that it doesn't just happen overnight, right? It's a compounding of the actions that we take. And every action that you take henceforth, you're investing into the identity of he who you want to embody. And that works the same if you are investing your energy into toxic habits, right? We're all self-made, but the only people who want to admit that they're self-made are the people who are proud of their lives. So remove those toxic habits. Stop watching porn. Stop drinking too much alcohol. Stop smoking too much weed. Like take the actions that your future self will actually be proud of, but just start small. Yeah, I don't even like to label myself as a fucking men's dating coach. The way that I see myself is a freedom from bullshit practitioner, but men's dating coach works better for the title. But I really hope that this message finds you well. Like I want the best for every single one of you, right? Like it's just start off small. Yeah, walk over to somebody and just say something. That's it. Right, excuse me, good morning, hello. Yeah, and as soon as you said something, you're in that conversation then. You've thrown yourself into the deep end. It's like you're either going to sink or swim, but it's like you'll usually be able to swim because you've got that accountability there then. Like you're not going to learn this stuff by watching videos or reading blogs or listening to podcasts. It's like you already know what you need to do. How do you approach girls? You approach girls. You just walk over and you say something, okay? So if you're new here, If you're new to the channel, my name's Kristian. I travel the world and I teach high achievers how to unlock top 1% social skills so they can live top 1% dating lives. I believe that any self-respecting man should be able to go over to a woman who he finds attractive without needing 10 pints of lager down him first. I believe that for the whole dating ritual to begin, someone needs to approach. I think it should be the man, and I think it should be done in person. Yeah, so if you resonate with me, you like what you do, like what I do, then consider subscribing, drop the live stream a like, I appreciate it. I don't have any bullshit courses to sell you. I'm not trying to funnel you into a $50 a month Discord or school community. I'll leave that for the other fucking morons in this space. I run an elite private network. It's called the Entourage. It's really expensive. I don't expect you to join it. Only about 1% of my audience will actually join the network. Those are the people whose lives are going to change. Like, your life will be unrecognizable when we start working together. But for all the rest of you, I've created 2 free online courses. Okay, my courses are completely free. I give away information and I charge for implementation. So yeah, I've got 2 courses. One is called Conversation Killer, that basically gives you everything you need to crush it with cold approach, right? It's a course which I wish had been available to me when I first started. It teaches you how even the most introverted of guys can get started and get results from cold approach. I believe it's the best course on daytime cold approach ever created. It's free. It's for you. It's free. Forever. You can get that below. I've also got my most fuckable man course as well, which teaches you how I went from an unfuckable turnip, living in a grotty apartment in Central East, to becoming the most fuckable version of myself. There's a course on mindset mastery. There's a module on like how to build a fully independent international lifestyle. Like, everything that I've learned over these past 4 years since I first started my whole cold approach journey, it's all in those free courses. So you can access them right now. They're completely free. All the information's there. I hope you find it useful. I hope you use it. And I hope you use it to live a life free from bullshit. So yeah, if you enjoyed this, then drop the live stream a like. I just want to show up for you boys every single day. Send as much optimism down the camera. And I think the final thing I'll say is, with every live stream that I do, if you can just take away one nugget of information and then you can apply it to make yourself 1% better, then that really does fulfill me. If I know that I've turned up to a live stream and I've helped you to make your life 1% better, then I feel really fulfilled by that. So yeah, get all the courses. They're free. Get them below. The links are below. I'll speak with you boys again tomorrow. I love you all very much. And yeah, let's crush it. All right. Bye. Bye. Bye.